Okay, now we're going to be implementing this method for real. Microsoft wants us to do two things first. The first thing is to make sure that this CLSID matches our GUID. And the second thing is to validate this argument here. So let's do one thing at a time. We're going to say if not is equals CLSID or CLSID and CLSID YouTube shell extension. So if they're not equal, then return the following error: class E, class not available. Okay, and to validate this, we use another if statement. If that, then we return E invalid arg. There we go. But if it is valid, then Microsoft wants us to set it to null. There we go. That's all the implementation we're going to do of this method for now. What I want to do is focus our attention on creating the classes that this DLL is going to get. It's only going to get one class, and let's create it. The class is called, well, we're going to call it YouTube ClassFactory. And we're going to create a header for it. It's just a class, YouTube ClassFactory, but it implements two interfaces. The interfaces are iClassFactory and iUnknown. There we go. These are red because we have to include windows.h. Okay, so now we can start declaring stuff. We're going to start with some protecteds. The first one is going to be called dword m object reference count. So, like we did back here where we are counting instances of a class, what we are going to do here within each instance is we're going to count references to the instance of that class. So, in other words, we're going to be counting pointers that point to that instance of the class. Kind of confusing, but oh well. The next protected that we're going to declare is a destructor. That's what it's called. YouTube ClassFactory. And now we'll declare some publics, starting with a constructor, ClassFactory. Okay, now we're going to declare the methods that come from these two interfaces, starting with iUnknown. iUnknown. Let me write methods there for clarity. The first one is a ulong, I believe. Yes. std call, it's called add reference. Second one is also a ulong. It's called release. The third and final method of iUnknown is called query interface. And it takes two arguments, a reference ID and a pointer to a void object. There we go. Now let's declare the methods from iClassFactory. Okay, the first one is called create instance, and it takes three arguments. The first one is a pointer of some kind. The second one is another reference ID. And the third one is another pointer to a void object. All right, and the second and final method is std call lock server, and it takes one argument, but spoiler alert, we will not be using this method, so we're just going to kind of give it a blank implementation. Okay, that's all that we're going to do in this video. Stay tuned.